Having spent almost half of your life in the armed forces, you're ready to hang up your uniform and jet off for another exciting new life in Australia. But first, there's one very important mission you need to achieve: persuading the love of your life to join you. After years on the move, Matthew Royle is searching for somewhere to call home.
I don't feel as a part of this house as in the dog, to be honest.
And believes that could be in Australia.
We're moving to Australia now. Let's go find a house.
But will a week down under see fiancée Philippa fight for life in the UK?
I don't think Matthew appreciates the gravity of what he's asking.
Or buy into Matthew's vision for their future?
It's not as straightforward as, like, do you like the weather? It's so much more than that.
Whether it's for stunning natural scenery, an outdoors lifestyle or the climate, Australia continues to attract people from across the world. But it's the unique bond the Commonwealth country shares with the UK that sees over 30,000 Brits making the move there every year. Matthew Royle joined the army when he was just 16, but after 10 years of active service, he's ready to swap his military career for married life and thinks Australia is the place to do it. But for fiancée Philippa, the thought of leaving everyone she loves in the UK to start a new life on the other side of the world is a scary prospect. So will a week sampling everything the country has to offer be enough to help destroy Philippa's defences and secure Matthew the future he so desperately wants for them? The journey begins with a 20-hour trek from Manchester to Perth via Abu Dhabi. And although Matthew's used to travelling, both he and Philippa are relieved when they finally touch down.
The flight was very long and challenging, especially for Philippa because she couldn't sleep.
I am blaming Matt for that flight. I didn't enjoy it, and at the moment it's all Matt's fault.
All that time in the air has given Philippa plenty of time to contemplate being so far from family in the UK.
When my mum dropped me off at the airport, I was really emotional. It's really far away, and the flight definitely reiterated just the fact that it's at the other side of the world.
But Matthew's got his eye firmly on the target.
But we're in Perth now, so I've just got to push it to Philippa to tell her why we've got to live here a minute.
You'll see.
Meet Philippa, Matthew and their pet doggy Ollie. Childhood sweethearts, Philippa and Matthew first met at school, but with Matthew signing up to the army a few months later, their relationship got off to a rocky start.
Matthew's job has had, like, a huge impact on our relationship because Matthew is away, like, 80% of the time.
As soon as we got together, I was off to Afghanistan for 7 months. Didn't have a date of when I was coming home. Didn't know what was going to happen, did we?
True love blossomed though, and the couple are convinced they found their soulmates.
I think we do complement each other quite well. Like, we're good at what we're good at, and then the other is good at the stuff the other isn't at. No, that made sense.
I'm not sure it did.
With plans for their wedding underway, Matthew's now ready to give his army career the boot in pursuit of a more stable life with Philippa, and believes that could be in Australia.
I joined the army to get away from England, and then somebody decided that she'd steal my heart, and now I want to steal her away from her family and take her to Australia with me.
Matthew fell for the country during a brief visit with work 9 years ago, and Philippa's been hearing all about it ever since.
I've never been to Australia, but Matthew goes on about it all the time. It's the most wonderful place in the world, according to him.
I just like the place, how warm it was, the climate. Everyone seemed really friendly.
But Philippa's not convinced it's where their future lies.
I'm kind of the only thing, really, in his way. Besides the weather, I don't think he's got any actual real-life reasons how it would be better.
Matthew knows he'll have a battle on his hands to get his fiancée on side.
In order for Philippa to be convinced to move to the other side of the world, I need to have an all-singing, all-dancing job where I can come home every evening, have the weekends to ourselves, and it be for at least a little bit more than what I'm on in England.
And he's prepared to fight for what he wants, not just for him and Philippa, but for future children they might have too.
A family out there would benefit a lot more from the Australian way of life than England.
After we're married, at some point we would like to start a family, so wherever we are, we need to be settled.
But the prospect of starting a new family thousands of miles from the people she already shares her life with is too much for Philippa to comprehend.
Welcome to Matt's amazing quiz.
My life completely and utterly revolves around my family, and theirs around me as well. Oh, I know this. Do you not know it? I don't think Matthew appreciates the gravity of what he's asking.
Who sang the song I Will Survive?
It's an old person question.
I did have you in mind when I thought of this question.
They've been there for me this whole time, and if we now leave and just I don't have them in my life at all, I will find that really difficult.
Yeah, Ted.
Ted, come here.
Bill.
Ted.
Used to hanging out with her father regularly, she knows leaving would break his heart.
My dad constantly jokes that I'm not going and won't even enter into a conversation with me about it. You don't actually tell me anything.
Nothing to tell.
Every time I speak to him about it, it's like, you're not going, you're not going. So I think it'll be difficult for my dad.
Ultimately, Philippa will have to choose between the man she's about to spend the rest of her life with and the family who've supported her this far.
I think it'd be very important for us to start married life on the same page, rather than I'm kind of leaning towards one thing, she's leaning towards another.
It's a big deal, really, that I've got to make that decision for the both of us. Do they have radiators here? No.
Just stop being
No.
rude for a minute.
To find out if Australia can offer the couple the lifestyle Matthew's been dreaming of, they're visiting the country's western capital, Perth. After picking up a hire car, Philippa and Matthew head to their base for the week in the coastal suburb of Hillary's, just a 30-minute drive north of the city centre.
Stop.
You know how to drive, Philippa.
What will Philippa make of her first taste of Aussie living?
Oh, it looks really nice.
Looks very nice.
First impressions are good.
Looks lovely.
So quiet and peaceful.
But can Matthew keep the peace inside?
I'm happy. Are you happy? You're never happy.
I'd probably just redo the whole thing.
Really?
Philippa's lack of enthusiasm suggests Matthew's Australian campaign could be struggling to get off the ground.
If this was all grassed off, it'd be much more appealing to me. And I think everything as a whole has just been a bit like meh, like it's not really done anything for me.
It's been 9 years since Matthew was last on Aussie soil.
I'm concerned whether it's going to be as good as I remember it to be.
You're a different person now as well.
I wasn't
It's
thinking
just
about
different
properties, I wasn't
priorities.
thinking about jobs or anything like that, but now I am. But I'm hoping for a good result in my favour.
And the week ahead will be his one and only chance to make Philippa share his dream.
For me to leave my whole family, I know I can speak to them every day and see them over the computer and whatever, but it literally has to tick every box.
In the UK, Matthew and Philippa live in a 2-bedroom terraced house in the Rossendale area of Lancashire.
I don't feel as a part of this house as maybe Philippa or even the dog, to be honest.
With Matthew's army career often taking him away, he wants Australia to give him the feeling of home he's been missing.
In the next house, when I'm actually living there, I'll be able to command a bit more of a say.
So what would the ideal home look like down under?
I'd need a big garden, an outside seating area.
I'd like it a bit more modern, with a little kitchen diner, maybe a separate lounge.
Don't want much.
3 bedrooms as a minimum, please.
Please, at the end. I think you've got manners.
To find out what kind of house they could have, we'll show the couple 3 properties, 2 on budget and a third which could be their dream home. Only after they've seen each one will they find out its value. Matthew and Philippa have set themselves a budget of between £180,000 and £190,000.
Go, go, go.
The search begins in the coastal suburb of Alkimos, almost 40 minutes outside of central Perth. They're viewing a house at the Shorehaven estate, one of many new build projects in the area. So, will this 3-bedroom house hit the spot?
The front garden's quite small.
I don't think we need a front garden anyway, do we?
No. I just hope that there's a back garden.
Fingers crossed. First, inside.
Nice, bright entrance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice and big.
But it doesn't take long for Philippa to notice something she's not so keen on.
I find it strange that the main bedrooms are at the front.
Yeah.
Is that just me? I don't know how I'd cope without carpet. If it's wooden and laminate, you'd have to wear flip-flops or slippers.
I think it's a good start. Hopefully they just get bigger and better from here.
Matthew's not giving up. Hopefully the open-plan living area will help.
This is what I had in mind for an open-plan living space in Australia. Much better shaped than our kitchen. And you could be washing up while I'm eating my tea.
You won't be getting any tea. This is definitely not an upgrade to what we've got, is it? You wouldn't move across the world for this.
Matthew could be fighting a losing battle. Perhaps the master bedroom will improve Philippa's mood.
This is more like it. Go through that door.
Oh, it's got an ensuite.
Oh, well, that's just what we need.
I hope there's another bathroom because I'd want a bath.
Yeah, and obviously a separate bathroom shower
Yeah.
from the potential children we might have.
One step at a time.
Steady on, Matthew. It could be baby steps for Philippa, who's finding it hard to see herself living here.
This bathroom's quite small.
And when the bathroom disappoints, even Matthew's enthusiasm is flagging.
Rental property's bathroom's bigger than this, but that's not very big.
Moving outside, how will the garden measure up?
It's quite small, isn't it?
It doesn't feel like it's a garden.
Yeah, it's just like a little patio sort of situation.
I don't know. Feels quite claustrophobic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Philippa's mind is made up.
We need better than this to move.
It's not a great start, but the couple still need to find out if their budget of up to £190,000 would cover the cost of a house like this.
Well, I'm guessing £156,000.
I'd be happy to pay about £140,000 for this. Anything more than that, I'd definitely be wanting more outdoor space. Should we find out?
Yes. Wow, it's quite expensive.
That's at the lower end of their budget.
Don't really need to see anything else, because if that's what we can afford, then it's no point, is there?
Disappointment all round, really.
Oh well. Well, we can see the others.
Yeah, thanks.
It may be affordable, but neither Matthew nor Philippa believe this house is good value. Hopefully they'll see more for their money in property too. It's in the much sought after Vines area, a wine growing region around 20 miles from central Perth.
So you're doing wine trail.
Right, well, sold.
I'd be happy then.
But will this 3-bedroom house harvest a better reaction from the couple?
Much better than the last property already, isn't it?
Loads better.
It looks more like a home.
Sounds good so far.
Well, it's got carpet, Phil.
Oh, this is much nicer.
That is really nice.
It's got a fire. It looks like it might be pretend, but
Yeah.
the fact that it's there is good.
Could this be the house to get Philippa fired up about Matthew's dream?
Yeah, this is definitely a million times more homely than the last one.
Yeah.
Matthew's happy too.
You cook, you eat, you sit down and chill out, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
And then you go outside for a suntan.
I really hope that the rest of the house kind of, the theme continues. Yeah. Oh, see, this is more like it, isn't it?
And it does.
Ensuite. The door's a bit annoying now, it's next to the shower and that, but I think I'd just remove the door.
I'd like a door.
Right, okay.
Slightly encouraged, Matthew goes in for the kill.
Would you move for this bedroom?
If all the other boxes were ticked, then yeah, this bedroom's lovely.
That's what we're after.
Unfortunately, the bathroom isn't washing with Philippa.
Oh, no bath.
No, very small.
Do Australians just not like bathing? And I don't want a house where there's not a bath.
I didn't realise this was one of your things.
I didn't, but I didn't think there would be a house without a bath.
And outside, the mood's really taken a dip.
See, it's a bit small.
It is a bit small.
Obviously, we've got Ollie, the dog, so if we were to get chickens as well, then they'd need that whole area.
We just won't get chickens then. Simple.
I want chickens.
I think this outside space is fine. Just like the fact that there's no bath is fine. I think we'd get over it.
We would.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd move out here for this house.
Okay. Bye then.
Well, that set the cat among the pigeons. So will discovering what this house costs ruffle more feathers?
I think it's going to be about £211,000.
I'm going to say £195,000. Okay, let's have a look then.
Oh, what did you say?
Winner!
That's almost £6,000 over budget.
I think that's a decent price, especially compared to the last one. You're getting a lot more for your money.
I don't know if I'd move to the other side of the world for this house, for that price, but it's definitely an improvement.
Property too had proven to be better quality, and with the right jobs down under, it could be affordable, but it's still not quite perfect.
Do you know where we're going, dear?
No.
The next house might tick more boxes. In fact, we think it could be their dream home.
These houses are a lot more modern.
Do you reckon?
It's in the suburb of EvattRowley. With a shopping complex and schools close by, it could be a good place to start a family. But will the house win over Philippa?
Wow.
Oh wow, this is lovely.
Really nice.
Yeah. Oh wow.
This is massive.
This is much more what I expected from an Australian home.
Yeah, the expensive one.
Matthew's already fearful it could price his dream out of the market.
Let's have a look.
Wow. This is unbelievable.
See, that's the kitchen.
Very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
This is the kind of kitchen I had in my mind as to why we should move out to Australia.
Now Philippa's wondering about the price tag too.
This could be like if we worked really, really hard. We just won't be able to ever afford to have children.
Or a life.
Or a life.
They're equally impressed with the master bedroom.
Wow. That's really big. And it leads out onto that outside patio area,
Yeah,
which
that's
is really
lovely.
nice.
What's in there? Wow.
That is massive. I could have a belt collection as well, if we moved here.
Why have you just decided you want a belt collection? Just because you've got a walk-in wardrobe?
Oh, yeah.
So much for tightening their belts.
This is a dream house for us, isn't it, really?
I think this house is amazing.
They're both bowled over, but is it enough to entice Philippa to the other side of the world?
And we're not just leaving the house, we're leaving the family, the friends, everything, so it has to be something pretty amazing.
Onto the main bathroom.
Oh look, Phil, there's a bath.
Thankfully for Matthew, the house delivers here too.
Yay! But yeah, it's not much to ask for, is it? How can you not want this?
With the added feature of a gym, things are really shaping up.
That doesn't do anything!
But is everything about to change?
Oh. This is different.
In a good way?
Still no garden area.
No, there's no grass, is there?
We've not actually seen any gardens.
It's not what Philippa wants, but is she prepared to compromise?
I do think this outside space lets the house down, but I don't think it would put me off.
Before they get too carried away, the couple need to find out if, with £190,000 to spend, this house could be affordable.
I think this house is awesome. However, I also think it's too far and away from our budget. How much do you think it's worth?
210.
I'd say a little bit more. £224,000. Should we find out?
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we could afford this.
Right now, anyway.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe.
At almost £100,000 over budget, it's not achievable right now, but could be something to aspire to if they can secure the right work and salaries down under. Property 1 came in bottom of the couple's budget, but it lacked outdoor space and they felt it wasn't good value for money. Priced at almost £6,000 over budget, Property 2 had the right location, but its narrow backyard got the thumbs down from Philippa. Despite another small garden, Property 3 got both Philippa and Matthew excited, but almost £100,000 over budget is the kind of house they could aim for in the future. So how will the day impact on their vote between property in Australia and the UK?
Based on the properties we have seen today, our vote goes for Australia.
UK.
Why have you voted for the UK?
I just think that would genuinely get so much more for that money at home.
I think we'd only get maybe a bit of outside space, which we wouldn't be using anyway, because the weather's so bad.
At the moment, I just think we could afford more at home.
Philippa's vote for the UK hasn't completely surprised Matthew, but it places even greater emphasis on the importance of finding jobs that could help them prosper down under. Back in the UK, Matthew's an electronics engineer in the army.
I fixed predominantly the electrics on armoured vehicles. Been all over the world, including Ghana and Afghanistan.
But he's ready for change.
I've been in the army since I was 16, and I am actually looking for my next career.
Philippa's also on the cusp of new things. Soon to qualify as a teaching assistant, she's hoping to work with children who have learning difficulties.
If you spend 10 minutes, half an hour speaking with a child and you can see the difference that's made to them, that you've actually spent that time, makes you feel like it's a bit more worthwhile.
As the main visa applicant, the pressure's on Matthew to secure the right job, ideally one that will give the couple more time together.
My Australian job will hopefully be more 9 to 5 sort of thing, not have to travel as much. Yeah, I just really want to spend more time with her and just have a better life, really.
Exploring work prospects in Australia is a vital element in keeping Matthew's dream alive. Hoping to work with life-saving medical equipment, we've arranged for him to meet engineering manager John Pereira at Perth's Fiona Stanley Hospital.
How come that one's not yellow?
Because they're offline at the moment.
Oh, right, okay.
After a tour of the facilities, Matthew gets straight to the heart of the matter to see if his skills are transferable.
Most of your English qualifications will be recognised over here, but you have to apply for that recognition. Knowing your skill level, I'd probably look at being a field service engineer.
In a field service job, would I be based here or would I be based somewhere else?
No, field service by its definition is a field services, so then you would actually be moving from place to place.
That isn't good news. While it's not international, travel is something Matthew hoped to avoid. What about the hours?
I'm currently working 5 days away from home, so I don't get to see my partner very often. What's it like being in Australia working?
We do try to keep the work-life balance correct so that you do get your family time, but if you're a field service engineer, it's a bit more varied. You can probably be working some longer hours. You might have to do some weekend work.
Variable hours are also far from ideal. Meanwhile, Philippa heads off to Hillary's primary school to meet with Associate Principal Gary Deere.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the school, please?
Sure, we've got about 560 kids at the school here. Within that, we also have quite a few special needs kids. We have about 19 education assistants here at this school, looking after kids who have special needs.
So would my qualifications be transferable here?
You don't need a qualification to actually start. Most of the education assistants that we have here would have started off as people who came in and did some relief work in the school.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how I've started as well, so...
That's right.
So Philippa will have to be prepared to take on some casual work to begin with. What about the salary?
Between 35 and 38,000 Australian dollars, which is probably about £18,000 a year. That's if it was a full-time job. And we work on usually a 6.5-hour day.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
£18,000 is the same amount Philippa could hope to start on in the UK. But what are her chances of getting a job down under?
I think with your background that you would be quite a good candidate. Your prospects are quite good to find employment here.
It's positive all round. Back at the hospital, Matthew's hoping his earning potential will soften the blow of being back on the road.
Obviously, you haven't got the direct experience, so they'll probably put you on a junior level, about 45 to 50,000 pounds. As you progress, 60, 70,000 pounds.
Even at the lower end, that would be more than what I'd be expected to get in England, so that's really good.
Oh, this is Australia.
The potential to earn over £10,000 more than he does in the UK every year is great news. Now, that all-important question.
If I were to come to Australia today, would I get work?
Absolutely. The sky's your limit, really.
While not quite perfect, Matthew's encouraged to know there are opportunities for him outside of the army and with a substantially higher wage packet. Over at the school, Philippa's hooked up with education assistant and expat Jill McLaughlin.
So you've like really settled in then?
Amazingly so. But my advice was to go straight in there, just look at it as a big adventure. That's what we did as a family. Yeah. But we've certainly made the right decision.
It's like I feel a bit of relief now that I've spoken to you. Especially because you've made the move as well.
Yeah.
It's like somebody has actually done it and it's gone okay and it can actually work.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're a friendly bunch.
You say we now as well.
I just realised I'm doing that.
Reassured, Philippa can't wait to tell Matthew about her day.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
How'd you get on?
Yeah, really well. Yeah, I met one of the teachers at the school. She came over from Scotland and she's been here for about 5 years. She's completely settled in, loves it. I met the principal as well. I said my experience is completely transferable. The job prospects are quite good. Yeah, it seemed really positive, to be honest.
And despite mixed feedback at the hospital, Matthew decides to focus on the positive news.
I spoke to somebody called John. He's like the head of engineering in that hospital. And he said I'd be all right for a job over here.
All right, cool.
He said the salary was quite good, about 90,000 Australian dollars, which is about £45,000.
Sounds really positive.
Exactly.
Time to discover how the day's findings will influence their choice between work in Australia and the UK.
So after our day looking at what jobs we could possibly get in Australia, our vote goes to...
Australia.
Australia.
I'm quite surprised you chose Australia.
I mean, mainly it's because of how positive you were about everything. Like, it's nice to hear you sounding so happy about something outside of the army, like looking forward to something else. I'm just happy that you're happy, really.
Obviously, you've got job opportunities as well, so it makes it just good for both of us, really.
With such positive news on the work front leading to Philippa's first vote for Australia, Matthew's dream has survived another round. With quality time together a rarity in the UK, hopefully a chance to sample the healthy outdoor lifestyle Australia's famed for will add further ammunition to his case for making the move. As the couple head out to enjoy the sunshine in Perth, Matthew is feeling confident about the day ahead.
Hopefully I can get another vote for Australia, and normally we wouldn't get the chance to do this kind of thing.
Action man Matthew believes Australia will give them both the opportunity to try out more exciting activities. So what better way to get the adrenaline pumping than a spot of jet skiing?
So this is how you start it. This is the red one to stop the engine, okay?
After the required safety briefing, it's time to speed off into the lifestyle he's been promising Philippa. The day's gone off swimmingly and Matthew's more enthusiastic than ever about a potential move.
We're moving to Australia now. Let's go find a house.
And he doesn't give up over lunch.
So can we move to Australia now, please?
We'll see.
Still no yes. Still no definite yes.
It's been a bittersweet experience for Philippa.
I've had a really enjoyable day, spending the day with Matthew, but it's just really strange to think that, like, I wouldn't be able to do this with my family.
Matthew knows what he's asking her to give up, but he's not backing down.
She's always talking about contacting her family, but I'm just trying to explain to her that this is better for us and better for our future family.
I've just been brought up constantly around all these people. I just think I don't want any children of mine to think, well, I've took that away from them.
There could be trouble ahead. As torn between her future husband and her family, Philippa contemplates the reality of moving to the other side of the world.
It's not as straightforward as, like, do you like the weather? It's just, it's so much more than that.
Meanwhile, has the lifestyle done enough to get another joint vote for Australia?
Based on today's activities, we are going to vote for Australia. Why did you vote for Australia?
It's important for me to think about us and our future and the fact that we want to start our own family one day. I just can't really think of a better place to do it.
Another vote for Australia is a great result for Matthew, but he knows the move needs to add up in more ways than one. To fund the lifestyle he wants, the couple would be selling their UK home. They believe it's worth around £95,000, so we sent 2 estate agents round to see if they're right, and the couple are about to find out the results.
I just don't want to be told that our house is worth less than what we bought it at, to be honest.
I don't think that'll happen.
I hope not, but I don't know.
But I don't think it'll be less.
I've got a feeling it'll be less.
Ah, look at the flowers.
Well, it's quite a spacious kitchen, which is nice, and nice solid floors and wooden worktops.
I love that kitchen.
Super garden. It's quite unusual to find chickens in your garden.
Oh, the chickens.
We're coming into the bathroom, really nice and bright. I think the only thing that would need doing is maybe painting of the ceiling.
You have done that now, haven't you?
In today's market,
I
I would value this property in today's market, I would value the property at £100,000. For a quick sale, we'll value the property at £95,000.
That's what I thought.
If the owners wanted to rent the property, I would recommend a monthly figure of £475.
£100,000 is more than what we paid, so yeah. slightly relieved now.
Yeah, definitely. It is a lovely house. So, yeah.
We'll get a better one over here.
Matthew wants a move to Australia at all costs. To help work out how they would fare financially down under, we've provided a cost of living comparison, starting with a weekly shop.
What a bass of fillets.
Fish?
Never heard of it.
You have it all the time.
Do I?
Well, once they can agree on what they normally buy...
So that's mushrooms, they're more expensive.
£1
We actually eat quite a lot of mushrooms, really. So far it looks like our shop here would be more expensive, doesn't it?
When they tot it all up, they discover they'll be spending more on food.
So in Australia, we will be £18.10 worse off. Which isn't dramatic, is it?
But Philippa thinks they might be overlooking something.
Our weekly shop at the moment isn't that much because you're not there. It'd be more than that.
Next, a look at the bigger monthly bills, basing their mortgage repayment on the second property they viewed.
So what's the difference?
The difference is £88.62.
Okay. It's not loads more, but it is. Water's a bit more. Electricity is a bit more. It's just when everything's a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it soon adds up.
All in, they'd be paying out almost £80 more per month in Australia. But Matthew's higher earnings soon put a more positive spin on things.
That's £671.64 extra a month, which is obviously a lot of money.
See, that'd make a huge difference.
Together, their joint income would be almost £1,000 more.
That's like another person.
I'm quite happy with that.
Well, yeah.
That'll sort us right out, won't it?
The sums confirm they'd have a sizable amount of surplus cash down under.
Overall, in Australia, every month we'll be better off by £877.32.
That's mad.
Write that down on that piece of paper.
That's £10,000 more every year, and Matthew's ecstatic.
I'll ring the estate agent now.
Okay then, you go and do that. Make me a brew while you're there.
All right.
Philippa's staying grounded, but how will they vote when it comes to finances in Australia or the UK?
After working out our earnings and potential cost of living here in Australia, our vote goes to... Australia.
No brainer, innit?
The realisation they could thrive financially in Australia has been a real eye-opener and could help Matthew lock down the life he wants. But he knows messages from loved ones could prove to be an obstacle Philippa can't overcome.
Are you ready to see what our families think then?
I'm ready. Are you?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Hi Philippa, Matthew, how are you doing?
Hi Phil, hi Matt. Hope you're having a good time.
Walked the dogs, fed the chickens, so you don't have to hurry back.
She is my eldest and she's incredibly fierce. There's no one more loyal and protective.
She is like my second mum. She looks after me.
She's the absolute go-to girl. If you need any help, it's Philippa all day long.
Matthew would probably drive her crazy because she's very, I would say, organised, whereas Matthew, although he's in the army, is a little bit disorganised, isn't it?
Cheers, Dad.
I think it'd be really strange if Phil and Matt do decide to stay out there. So it'd be really strange not to talk to him day to day and see how they're doing.
The thought of Philippa having a grandchild of mine and me not being around, it doesn't bear thinking about.
I'd hate to see her to go. Just the thought of it.
We really are close, and it will be such a big change that it will be hard to deal with it, but I think it'll be a good change for Philippa, so I'm happy.
Just make sure, Philippa, that you think long and hard about what you do and that it's right for you and both of you. Good luck with whatever decision you make.
Well, if Philippa and Matt do decide to go, I'd be really pleased for them, even though I'd be devastated. I just couldn't even think about it.
How do you feel about that then?
It was, even though I obviously know how they all feel, it's quite strange to hear them saying it like that.
Everyone thinks we should do it. Maybe on a personal level, your dad doesn't.
Yeah, it would be difficult, but I know we've got their support.
As their week draws to an end, encouraging messages from home may have left Matthew feeling confident about making his Australian dream their reality. But for Philippa, will knowing she'd be going with her family's blessing make the decision to move nearly 9,000 miles from home any easier? Before arriving in Australia a week ago, Philippa had never spent a day without seeing her family, and Matthew's worried messages from home could set her back.
Right now I think Philippa's seriously debating on whether we should come out here. I think she's got more demons to wrestle with than I have.
Like, I'm one of like 16, 17 cousins and stuff. There's loads of us, and for my, you know, potential children to not have that, I just think is really sad.
With marriage in front of them, the couple are contemplating what a move could mean for their future.
I think we have been on a journey this week. To come out here and see the job prospects that we have, the environment we could be bringing up our family in, our future family, I think it's been invaluable.
Even with her doubts, Matthew believes Philippa could come to terms with the distance.
I still think she can be persuaded to move out here based on the good positive feedback we've had from the rest of the family. Hopefully it's Australia. That's where I think we should be.
I just hope whatever decision we both make, we're both happy with it and we just support each other in whatever we both decide.
The couple now have to choose. Do they pursue the life in Australia Matthew wants for them, or stay close to Philippa's family in the UK?
After a fantastic week in Perth, our final decision is...
Australia.
I didn't think you were going to vote for Australia then.
I don't know if I did, but yeah, I want to do it. I want to start this next chapter of our lives here.
Good. Me too. Not just for me and you, just for the future, obviously.
Yeah.
Matthew was confident he could persuade Philippa Australia's the best place to start their married life. And he's been proved right. With the potential to find well-paid jobs and enjoy more time together, it looks like the couple have found the perfect place to start the next chapter of their lives. We hope they have a wonderful wedding day, followed by a very happy future down under.